I'm really curious about what's going on. And when I have certain people in this community hit me up, the only reason I got Bored Apes is because somebody in this community hit me up at 2 o'clock in the morning and said, "Yo, wake the fuck up and buy two of these things. If you can afford two, get two." And I'm like, dude, I don't have $1,500 to buy a JPEG. Dude, this was back in March when I barely understood anything about this space, and I'm sitting there scratching my head going, how am I going to explain this to my wife that I'm buying these JPEGs for $1,500? She's going to laugh at me. So I, instead of like trying to take it upon myself to hide it from her, I walked in, her parents were over, her brother was sitting across from me, and I said, hey, what do you guys think about this? And I started showing them the apes, and they're looking at me like, yeah, they're cool, who gives a shit, like, yo, pass the potatoes. And I'm like, oh my god, dude, I'm shaking. I'm like, yeah, I just bought two of them. They're like, that's great, like, they could care less. So I'm like, all right, well, at least they know. So my wife's like, well, what'd you spend for them? I said $1,500. She like drops her fork and she's like, what? Like, yo, are you kidding me? Like, I'm like, yeah. Not knowing anything about the roadmap, I just took the trust of the relationship of the person who told me about this project. A couple
Can I
weeks.
add something?
Go ahead.
Hi. Once my husband Jeremy came to room and you asking, you suggested to buy the ape, and he said, no, I don't want to buy it. And he didn't buy it. It was around March, and it hurts.
I was just gonna ask if
Well, there's certain people who I returned a favor and I said, hey, dude, I don't know what this is gonna do or where it's at, but if you can afford to get one of these, as a matter of fact, I found one that reminds me of you. You should take a look at it. And the thing's like $7,000 now, or what? I think it was like almost 2,000 by the time I told him. Pips, when did you get yours? At what time?
I got my first one when you told me, and it was like $1,000, and then I went and got like four more.
Okay.
Jeez, this guy's a baller. Just seeing it laughing, mate.
Yeah. So just imagine we're over here, we're trying to figure this thing out, and then a couple weeks go by, and this floor goes from zero point zero 0.05, zero point zero 0.06 to like 5, 6 ETH, 7 ETH, and I'm sitting here going, dude, something doesn't seem right. Like, what's going on? Like, I don't understand. Like, I started identifying when we started this clubhouse room that people had these things called crypto punks, and they'd come into these rooms and they'd rock their punks, and I'm sitting there going, dude, what is this ugly picture of this 8 pixel? I had no idea. And then I said, you know what, if they got a freaking punk in their profile picture, I'm gonna invite them on stage because there's something here. Because most people at that time were just using their face as their profile picture, but these punks, for whatever reason, they were loyal to that project and they were just showing up every day. So then I started seeing it happen with the apes. So I'm like, yo, if you got an ape, you coming on stage. I don't care who you are or what you got. If you're gonna rock one of those things, you're coming on stage. And then we started developing relationships with the different people and then going into the Discord and learning about the community and what's going on behind the scenes and seeing all of that and just watching it go and go and go. So we're getting to the point where Pips asked me one day, he goes, bro, I'm thinking about selling the ape. And I'm like, all right, well, what do we do? So he goes, I'm getting an offer. I don't know what the ETH price was, but what was it, like $40,000 at that time?
Yeah, like 46K.
So tell me what it was like. You're sitting there thinking to yourself, you're in the Forex community, you're used to making 200 to 300% returns. You made how much percent return on this, and what was your hands, and you're sweating and you're shaking and you're like, yo, I'm going to take this money. What was that feeling? Can you explain what that was like?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with me, it's being like you said, I'm a forex trader, so it's a fairly normal feeling to me. It's just like the feeling that every trader get when you're about to press the button. But for the most part, the gain was 4,600%, and I mean, I felt good about it. I wanted to see, was the liquidity there? Was the actual liquidity there? As I told you at that time, that's that's what I wanted to see. And so yeah, I went in fully aware trader. That's what I do. So I always go in with a plan. Um, Entering and exiting strategy. Um, so I felt good, highly confident. Now, what was to come after that? Yeah, I didn't feel so good about what you knew. You already know. So, yeah, but I felt good.
So one of the things that he discovered was he went to hit an offer. Somebody made an offer, and he went to hit accept. And what happened right after that?
It got declined, and the offer immediately went away. And then a fairly lower offer came back in.
So what happened then?
When the fairly lowly offer came back in, I called you, told one of our other friends, and I said, I think we're dealing with a lot of manipulation um, in this market. I told you that I'm seeing that the NFT market is no different from any other financial market when it comes to liquidity and manipulation. And I told you that um, it's very dangerous. And then I took the lower offer and we started building what we started building from there.
So for the people who don't know, there's a part of the OpenSea profile that's called activity. And in the activity gives you a chart of approximately the last 90 days. Let me see if it goes further back. I think it does all time. So this gives you a chart of when and how much volume is traded and at what price the average price was of the apes during that time. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't done some deep diving in this in a while, but it appears that Saturdays were one of the most successful trade days, maybe because it's an off day for people when they're not working. But when you go into this and you close the sales, you're going to start seeing that there's people making offers. So right now, there's an account, BAYC Love 2, that's making these offers on a regular basis. These offers are not being done by a human, they're done by a bot. Now, one of the things that was disheartening when we discovered this was that these individuals had the ETH offer when they made the offer, but if anybody or something changes and they no longer have the ETH in their wallet, those offers are not backed by any real financial nothing. There's no ETH, there's no wrapped ETH, there's nothing behind it. So it's not necessarily real. But what it is doing is psychologically giving the user the confidence that this has a value because people are offering this amount of money for it when in reality there's no money behind it, right? So just experiencing some of these things at that time, it gets to be like, all right, so what's really going on in this space? I'm just going to click on this profile just to see what this character is doing. He's got quite a few NFTs. We can take this and look into his wallet a little bit more. Looks like he has quite a few rare Pepe cards. Let's see what else he has. Nothing crazy, but one of the things that you're going to learn is how to start researching based on what people, what projects they're in. You're going to start looking at, well, what else does this person look? So this guy's got some sort of bored ape 3D animated looking character, turn of life. I never seen this before. So sometimes I find projects just because I see what these other people are collecting. Another habit I tend to do is I go back to OpenSea and I look at who are the top ape holders. So if you guys are following along in the airtime, I'm going to show you a secret weapon that I use to kind of make it easy to see who and what's going on. I'm not going to reveal the website. Only the people who are in the airtime are going to be able to see that. But this right here has the ability for you to see not only those charts and the volume traded, but it's also going to give you the holders in a visual way compared to going on Etherscan, which is like a whole nother course. So I'm going to go to the Board Ape Yacht Club and you're going to be able to see this. Right here it says collectors. So this is showing me out of all the 10,000 pieces, this one account owns 103. This one owns 102. This one owns 101. This guy owns 75 apes. So when you start looking at all these different collections of who owns what, then I'll go in and I'll click on these guys' links and I'll say, well, what does this guy have? What is he collecting? Where is he on his, collection of NFTs? And a lot of these guys are collecting art blocks, which I still haven't figured out. The me bits are on this guy's page, so he's got quite a few of them. So when you start seeing the projects that these bigger guys are getting into, it's gonna build the confidence. Okay, cool. When you see these guys jumping into some of these other, smaller projects or new projects that you never heard of, and you're seeing some of these bigger boys playing in that, it's gonna give you a different confidence than if you don't see certain people who are considered whales in this space. Another one of our research shows that majority of the people who are in this space are in the negative. They're not making money in this space. They actually spent way more and they're down. So like they might have spent, I don't know, 100 ETH and they're negative 100 ETH profit. So just because you think that these people have huge collections doesn't mean that they're buying and flipping or selling. So you're actually following some of these people blind. Maybe they're going to make good purchases and they're going to hold for a long period of time. But if you're trying to get in and out of projects and make money, following people who are not selling are not going to give you the key indications that these projects are going to move or do anything. So those are another informational things to look at.
I have a question on that topic specifically, if you'll allow it.
Go ahead.
Do you think, and I know this is speculative, do you think that they're not, would you consider the idea that they're not selling it because, obviously there's different investment aspects and strategies, but I would think, and I would wager to guess that I would be certain that some of the percentage lacks the confidence to sell. Would that be something that's considerable on your bet?
I'm going to give you an example. There's a guy named Pranksky. Pranksky had 1,200 apes before they became viral. Immediately, 1 hour after he minted his last ape, he was selling his apes on the secondary market and he liquidated his portfolio of apes and made approximately $7 million in a very short period of time. When these people are getting into these projects, sometimes they don't move in the direction that they anticipated it's moving and they're in a loss. So they're willing to just hold on to that asset than take a loss. So I've looked into Pranksy's wallet and he holds several projects that look like they're dead. And he owns quite a few of them. So like he locked up maybe $50,000, $100,000 in some of these projects, and until that community can flip that project around or deliver on their roadmap, it might not make sense for him to liquidate. Does that help at all?
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. Thank you for not only responding in a clear, concise manner, but allowing me the time on your platform. I hope you'll check out what I sent you in your messages. I'll give you the mic back. Thank you.
Oh, by the way, for the people who don't know, Clubhouse only allows me to see the top 30 people in the messages. I got almost 3,000 messages that are unread on this app, and I can only see 30 of them. So if you're trying to get my attention on this app, it's probably the worst way to do that. The best way is in Instagram.
I did go ahead and send that initially on Instagram, sir.
Awesome, perfect. Just to let you guys know. All right. So,
Alex, I'm Corina. Hi.
hi Karina, how you doing today?
May I do something? I don't know. It's not any financial advice. May I share one amazing project, and you can tell me what you think about it? Maybe I don't know.
What do you want to do?
I want to share one project. I want to tell you about one project which I consider amazing art. But I don't know. First, I ask you the permission, and I want to know what you think about it and if you know it.
All right, how do we find it?
I found it in Discord. It's because I could find, because it's many people many people we know here in this community, amazing people told me about it, and I found Anna. It's Anna Graf. It's inside this project, and I didn't knew this till I found the project, and I start to buy, and now I say that I have 17 pieces from this project I own, and I want more, but actually I don't have any more money. But if I would have money, um, may I say
What's
what project
what
is
what's
maybe the title of the project?
yeah? What's
Because
the
I
name of the
don't know if I
project?
can share stuff like
No,
this.
we're not shilling. We're doing research. What's the name of the project?
It's Eternal Royals Official. They finished. They sold out one day ago. They still have the low floor because the paper hands are selling like crazy. But the rare NFTs are disappearing because there are amazing bargains. You can still buy stuff, amazing stuff with small money, and they sell out rapidly. So I advise you go and buy. You'll see what amazing art. It's on my Twitter profile. I share it. It's my pinned tweet. It's amazing. It's really gorgeous.
Okay.
I love
What?
not only the roadmap. I love the art.
Okay. Why should people care about this project?
Why should people care? Because who loves art? Because I'm not a great investor. I don't have money, and I don't invest for the moment great money in NFTs. But I am an art lover, and the art of this project, it's amazing. Go and see them.
I'm looking
Go
at
and
it.
see
I'm looking at it right now.
how amazing they are.
So besides the art, what other areas make you feel confident that you're part of this project? Why?
The people inside the project, the team, and the fact that I know Anna. Anna is a friend, and she's inside many projects. She worked for many projects, and for me, Anna is a guarantee. It's when I don't know how to say. When Anna is in the middle, I'm sure that the project it's amazing for me.
Okay, so just to confirm, it's these like avatars with no faces, black background with like embers flying around with kings and queens.
There are some masks too, and no faces. Yeah, avatar with no masks.
Okay,
With
so
no faces and some masks.
so I'm looking at the team, and I don't see anybody here on the team that says Anna.
Anna Graf. No, she worked on the projects. She's not in the team. She worked on this project, and yeah, she's on them from the beginning.
Yeah, if I might jump in, I can explain a little. So this is also they made Anna one of the characters somehow. So it's like like showing Anna some respect. But it's in the end, it's not what can I say? It's not a guarantee. So all these spaces, you need to do some more research. This is what I learned coming from the classical art world, is that it's not entirely about the art, and it's not entirely about not the art. So it's a little bit more complex than that. And to be in a space with Anna for sure is a good thing. We're coming from the same space, NFT, Deutschland, Germany. So, but on the other hand, you have projects that pay out in a short term, and some projects pay out in the long term. This I would consider to be more for the long run, I would say.
Yes, it's I see the same. It's for the long run, and I simply love it. I'm trying now to sell another piece. I sold one piece for one Ethereum and half. Before they sold out, I was able to sell one, and I invested all back in the collection. And now, if I will be able to sell another one, I will reinvest because I finished my money, and I cannot. But I find it amazing. I don't know. I like it so much.
Okay, so I'm not saying that this is financial advice. This is not financial advice. I'm just gonna pick apart the project based on what I would do with any other project. I like the art personally, but I can't buy and feel confident that until I do my own homework, right? So I'm gonna just show you what I go through to figure out how active the community is and whether or not it's something that I should even pay attention to. So the first thing I do is obviously go to the Discord. So I'm gonna go to the Discord. Their Discord has 3,000 members in it. Let's see what they got. They got the rules. They got latest news. I'm gonna close that for now. Let's take a look at announcements. So let's scroll up. See, look how active they are with their announcements. Looks like they're constantly updating their network and letting people know. Again, I show you. I'm looking for these little tabs, these little emojis. How many people are actually interacting? They're doing contests. They're getting people excited about it. Let me just scroll down here and everything else. So
they have only two contests, only one or two contests because they are new. They just sold out. But there is a small number of owners, you know, because we all bought a large number of NFTs. I don't know if this is a good thing or it's a bad thing, but anyway, new people come in the project since this morning. They are coming. I don't know if it's a good thing. What you say about this? About a small number of owners? It
okay.
has actually 1.7 kappa
All right,
owners.
I'll get to all that. Let's just go. Let's just keep going. I got 19,000 followers on Instagram. Now, for those of you who know, Instagram is not where the crypto heads are. The crypto heads and the hardcore NFT users are on Twitter. So we're gonna look at Twitter again. But he's made stories. He's got everything from a social media expert. They did everything right as far as creating a concise bio, made a little link tree, made it aesthetically cool. They're getting about between 1,000 and 3,000 per post. Um, 79, 30, 13, 80 comments. So like just looking at it from there, the people actually are participating and communicating with the art, just as the art. Let's go to the Twitter. So their Twitter right here goes here. And their Twitter has 4,300 people. So it appears that people are finding their Twitter before they're finding the Discord. Let's see how many posts they made. They made 1,800 tweets. So they're really active on their Twitter account. They are following 777 people. And then I look over here. They have a pinned tweet, and their pinned tweet only has 24 shares and 66 likes. Then this one only has 1 retweet, 11 hearts. This one has 2 and 8. So if you understand what we're looking at here is the volume of interactive social currency. So if you're trying to build a community and you're not focusing on getting people activated to retweet and share and participate in this, this is going to affect your reach and new like onboarding, because the power of the community to reach out to their fans and they're taking ownership by hitting that retweet button and sharing it to their network is only going to make it expand and be like a viral thing. So I'm not seeing a huge retweet and everything else on this specific app, but that's not enough to just completely stop me from investing or taking a look at it. I like to do a full deep dive. Next thing, I click on the details portfolio and I look at their this is the royal, right here is the token, and for whatever reason my Google Chrome won't let me open it, so I'm going to open it up in Firefox so I can show you what that looks like. So these different aspects have different tools. You have certain holders, but I want to know who's holding what. Just because you have a certain group of holders, I don't necessarily know who those people are until I look at it by their wallet addresses. So going in here, you're able to go in and click on this link, and this is the token of that, and then I go here where it says holders. So I'm looking at the first guy owns 300 of these. The next one is Sneaky Ninja Pants. He has 176. I've seen this character before, so That's a good sign. Saint.eth, Kfish. Let's see if there's anybody else that I recognize in this list. And this is only, you're only going to get to know this by doing this daily. Um, there's a little tab right here. It says token holders chart, and then I go down here to the top 500, and this gives me access to the top 500. And I like to kind of see what the 500th holder is. How strong is their foundation? So it looks like we're going down. There's a lot of people who own 10, 8, 7, 6, 5. So 5 is the 500th user. So you got these people are investing in more than one or two. They care about the project enough to invest their money into it. When you start doing your deep dives and start recognizing certain wallet addresses, you're going to start identifying whether or not your key personnel or the people that you're tracking are actually interested in certain projects, which is also helpful. Another thing I forgot with the Twitter account was there's a little key indicator on here. Let's see if I don't know which account. I'm not signed into one on Twitter, but I'm going to just show you one more time so you know what to look for. But when you start using Twitter like this is now becoming a new way to use it as a tool. Depending on who you follow and who follows you on your Twitter is giving you access to see who believes in certain projects. So underneath this, if I sign into one of my accounts, it's going to show me that 5 or 10 or 15 people that I follow also are following this page. So the quality of people that I choose to follow are voting for projects when they decide to follow a page. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, yes. I want to. When you have time, I know you are very, very busy, but please teach me how to make this search. It's amazing.
I'm doing it
I
live right now on YouTube. You can follow it along.
Yes.
There's a link
Where?
inside. Uh,
I'm on YouTube channel, but where I
it's
can
it's also being
see
streamed
what?
on the airtime. Are you in airtime?
No, no, because I cannot use airtime in the same time with the Clubhouse, because I'm on the same tablet.
Okay.
And the computer I cannot speak because my on actual computer where I work I don't have the camera and so it's a mess. I Yeah. Are you in on YouTube in streaming now or on airtime?
I'm on all three.
I don't see on YouTube any direct streaming after the under the NFT that tips
Because
channel.
it's not streaming from that channel. Let me send it to you in here. Maybe I can copy and paste it. 1 second.
Okay.
It's not letting me paste. Um, hold on. Let me see if I can get it for you real quick. But this is really interesting information that I recommend you guys taking the time to watch YouTube videos on how to use Etherscan and how to do stuff like that. While I'm doing this, I want to welcome Natalie on the stage. How you doing, Natalie?
I'm good. How are you? Good morning, everyone. Or good evening.
Good morning, Nelly. How are you?
Natalie. Trucking along.
So where have you been on your NFT journey?
What happened, Alex?
I said, where are you on your NFT journey?
Not on Clubhouse. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Lots of things have transpired since we first co-founded this club with 90,000 other people. Yeah, I've been working with devs on my own projects and continuing to support other projects in the space and making sure people continue to have integrity, which is yeah, whole nother story for another day. And so yeah, I'm just here. Right, I just happened to be up super early this morning, and so just came in here to see what was going on.
So do you feel that the space that you've seen when you first started is the same space that you're seeing after you've learned everything that you've learned?
So I would say yes and no. I would say I was in a room last night and they had that room going for 4 hours. I was not in there for 4 hours. Those days are definitely long gone. few exceptions. And so, yeah, I would say when I was in that room last night, can't remember who the head moderator was, but that it just brought back a lot of memories of when we would stay here for like 2 or 3 days. Alex was staying here for a week straight and not sleep, and so maybe longer, but I won't I won't tell on him completely. And so yeah, it just reminded me, and it was like a whole crop of new people, like 100 people in the room, and I only probably knew like 3 or 4 people in there, and it just reminded me of the days that we stay up onboarding people and making sure they were getting the right information, because even at that time there's a lot of people that were in the space for a while or whatever, and giving people misinforming people about the space. So it was really it was kind of like deja vu in a way, and so yeah, it was pretty cool. I would say a lot of things have changed. A lot of people that came in this room have gone on to do incredibly well, have pushed out incredible projects, supported them, they support the people. A lot of those people still educate people today and host their own rooms, and so, or on Twitter Spaces or Telegram, or hosting their own Discords where they're sharing this information. And so that has been super rewarding for me, because none of us did this or stayed up for 3 or 4 days for anything. And so and then we had fun doing this, and so yeah, that's super cool to see people doing that. I would say people, I would love for people to kind of look at how the foundation that we built and continue to share that information, and vet people, ask questions, be skeptical, challenge people. And there's a few other things that I hope people will stop doing, but I'm not going to talk about that because it's early in the morning and I don't want to be spicy. So.
Well, we're likely to see you again soon. I'm glad that you made the opportunity available for you to come in and say hi. We miss you, and we love you. And just so you guys are aware, also, this space isn't all unicorns and fluffy. You know, there is a lot of people in this space that think they can come in here and fool you and trick you and take your money. So that's why we spend a lot of time focusing on showing you how to think, how to ask the right questions, and how to go about finding the information for yourself. So you're not listening to any one specific person. You're not taking our word for it, but you're actually learning the actual steps that you can use now to identify, so you know how to do that with every project, not just the ones that we are sharing with you today.
Yeah, absolutely. I second that. I tell people all the time not to take my word for shit, because I don't take nobody's word for shit. Definitely got to do your own research, do your due diligence. Got to be able to think for yourself.
Yep. So this is another website I just recently found, and I'm surprised I didn't know about it earlier. I guess Lo's not here. I don't think, is Lo still here? So we did a little test, and I'm gonna bring it up on a separate computer because I have multiple devices running, and I want to see if you guys can take a guess. We're gonna play a little game, change it up a little bit, give you guys some excitement. I did this homework already, so we're just gonna recall some of the information that was shared over the weekend. I want to see which platforms you guys think have the power right now. Who's got the attention? Who do people want to participate with? And we'll figure out why next. But what do you guys think that OpenSea is getting on a daily basis? How much traffic do you think OpenSea gets every day? What do you think? Call out your numbers.
5 million.
5.8 million.
Oh, that was a good guess.
He was here yesterday.
Oh, get out of here.
All right. How about the website?
Cheer to your pumpkin eater.
How about the website? I can't pronounce, I can't say, and I can't spell. That's on the Tezos platform. Yeah, that one. So first of all, why would you name a platform that's so difficult to spell, so difficult to say, and then you got people in the room like, oh, what's the website? I can't even remember because it's not even a .com or .io, it's a .xyz. But nevertheless, how much traffic do you think they get a day?
10,000 or less.
70,000, 80. Which platform was this?
Take it now.
I would say like
78,000. Okay. So I remember Tezos platforms from back in April-ish. Okay. Solana, I just heard about in the last 2 weeks, like really hardcore. So Solsea.io. How many people are visiting Solsea.io? And this is going to give you an idea of the velocity that this platform has compared to a platform that has been established for a lot longer. Just curious, what do you guys think? Solsea.io.
50K. I think it went up probably like 400,000 now, 300,000.
No, it's 53,000 a day. But SoulArt.io, how much do you think SoulArt.io is getting? And this is interesting. I didn't do this yesterday, but check this out. How much do you think SoulArt.io is getting?
It's Solana.
Yeah, SolanaArt.io.
What all that?
100,000.
211,000. Now, if you take 211,000 plus 53,000 from Solsea, you're looking at almost 260,000 compared to these two added up. Calumet, how much you think Calumet's getting a day?
I think that was like 17K, bro.
9,000.
20,000.
9,000. So if we take the 9,000 plus the 78,000, there's a huge difference between the Tez platform and the Solana just on those 4 websites if you added them up. How many views or how much traffic daily you think Rarible.com's getting?
200,000.
478,000. Has anybody heard this website? Byteblock.art.
Yeah, it's a new Tezos one.
How many?
Not new, but I think it's in East India. They're probably like around 50,000.
How about 422?
Oh.
Okay, Decentraland. How much traffic does Decentraland get daily?
25,000.
94,000. Okay, do you think CryptoVoxels is more or less than Decentraland?
More. Less.
Now,
More.
now do you know that CryptoVoxels is the only one of these that's mobile friendly? So is that going to change your decision? Do you think it's more?
Who said more? I want to know why they said more.
Me.
I
Why you say more, Natalie?
Well, Alex just cheated and told you CryptoVoxels is extremely mobile friendly. You also don't have to log in like you have to log into Decentraland with your MetaMask, and it's also super heavy on graphics. It's not accessible by mobile, and I live in CryptoVoxels, so I know we'd be getting down in there. So
Sweet.
So-
Yeah, I asked rhetorical questions, and I just wanted to see was you just saying more, just like guessing, or you had logic behind. But I know Natalie, you always have.
yeah, come on.
So Natalie, you ready for this? CryptoVoxel gets 12,000 views a day.
That's it.
That's it. How much traffic do you think Sandbox Got Game gets per day?
They're not even out yet, are they?
Yeah, but they're getting traffic.
You're like 200K, 100K, so it's pretty high.
89,000.
Yeah.
So 89,000. So Sandbox is literally right behind Decentraland, and you can't even really do anything in Sandbox yet, as far as I know.
You can't do anything.
All right, so I don't care about the mobile users. They want to spend all their money in being graphic card world and sign in with their MetaMask. So here, this is a new one. Superworld. How many people are going to superworld.com? It's actually superworldapp.com.
Isn't it it's under 7,000, right?
It was 7,305 people. And their direct competitor is Earth2.io. How many people are going to Earth2?
Oh.
Hopefully 0.
218,000.
Yeah, no.
208,000. That what you said?
218,000 are going to Earth2, and 7,000 are going to Superworld.
How they gonna fix that?
That's a great question. And this is what community's about. So you got these people in Clubhouse and they're going rah rah rah, go to my website, and they're sending you to different things. But if you guys don't even know why they're going to these platforms or who's even on them, you know, just because you got gas fees that are cheaper, based on my numbers, 5.8 million is a lot more than you got on some of these other ones that are less than 100,000, right? So who's getting paid? Why are they getting paid, and why are they staying on the Ethereum blockchain? These are the questions that I'm asking myself over and over and over again. So we got mintable.app. This is one of the places where you can mint a free NFT. How much traffic do you think they get a day? How many? 86,000. How about Zora.co?
75,000.
50,000. You guys are so off. 9,700. Do you? So do you think Foundation.app has more or less than Zora?
Less.
More.
How much? By? What's your numbers? What do you think?
75,000.
395,000 people are going to Foundation.app. How many people are going to Maker's Place?
120,000.
56,000.
Jeez.
That's it?
That's
What
it.
about super rare?
Super rare.
Non-origin.
I'm doing known origin next. I don't think I did super rare. I could do that one now while we're waiting. But known origin, what do you think?
250,000.
What? Unknown origin?
Yeah.
Yo, you got some numbers that are way off. What do you think, for real? What's your real guess?
20,000.
Yeah, 20.
50,000.
Are you gonna believe it's under 20,000? It's only 18,000 people go to known origin.
Really?
Really? How about this one?
Alex, all the businesses in OpenSea, most of it.
Well, a lot of businesses happen on OpenSea, and you're gonna have to start asking your questions why, and we're gonna do deep dives until we figure that out together. But the next one I have is joinclubhouse.com. How many people care about Clubhouse? How many people are joining Clubhouse?
5 people. No, just kidding.
Almost nothing.
72,000 people are going to that website. How many people are?
Every day?
Yeah,
Every day?
every day.
What was the OpenSea number, Alex?
5.8 million.
Wow.
Wow, is right. I'm doing. Is it?
I think OpenSea is the best. I knew that it has the most visited website. I think OpenSea went over Google. If I'm not wrong, I don't want to tell a bullshit, but I think has more visits than Google.
I think that's false, but I'll do it. I'll do it just so you can have a comparison. But I just did super rare. What do you guys think super rare did?
Like 50,000. 80,000.
They got 94,000.
Wow.
Closer.
So you want to do google.com. Let's see. What do you guys think people do google.com? How much do you think we got over here?
2 billion.
Nah.
500 million.
Dude, she's so off. How many people you think go to google.com daily?
1 million people.
No, more than a million. You ready for this
That's a
number?
million.
Oh, 670 million
Every day.
every day. Every day I'm hustling.
How much is super rare, Alex?
Super rare was 94,000.
Alex,
Yes.
it's Plasky. I don't want to derail what you're doing, but I have a question for everyone here that pertains to it.
do you guys think that there's more value to be on a curated platform, especially with these numbers? Do you feel like it brings more value to the art than just listing on OpenSea, since anyone can? Like, I think things may have shifted from 6 months ago. It was a badge of honor to be on like Foundation or Maker's Place or something. Like, do you guys think that helps pricing or the type of people buying the art, or is OpenSea the way to go?
All right, so there's two things that I look at when I'm looking at these numbers. The first thing is if I put something on Foundation and I sell it on OpenSea, does my commission roll over, or does it get canceled because the contract's not valid because it's on OpenSea?
I think it rolls over now from what I've heard, but I'm not sure. I've never dealt with Foundation.
Okay, so before you jump into bed with one of these platforms, do your homework, find out what the terms and services are, because as far as I know, a lot of these platforms, the contracts did not allow you to complete the commission structure on OpenSea once it gets sold on a secondary market. If you sell it on the platforms, you're able to keep the commission structure, but majority of the sales are on the secondary market were happening on OpenSea. So that's just something to be aware of.
Yeah, Alex, from what I've gathered, Foundation collections do not allow you to purchase on OpenSea. Rarible does, but I don't know about the commission going over. But I guess you would have to list it separately. But like if you have it listed on known origin, it wouldn't show up as listed in your OpenSea.
But would you guys rather have your art on a curated platform, even though these numbers show this? Would you rather have your art for sale on known origin or Maker's Place or Foundation instead of OpenSea, even though OpenSea gets more traffic? That's what I'm curious about.
I mean, I would think a Foundation or a super rare can be viewed as well, I mean, people might disagree with this, but the way that they're trying to position themselves is kind of highbrow, right? Like especially super rare, it's fairly higher priced NFTs and art, and then they also have a bit more of a gated system. Same with Foundation, right? So if you can get in there, I think there are advantages because generally the collectors on there do have more ETH and they are more comfortable spending that much. But I mean, obviously anything can happen on OpenSea too. So it really comes down to the target audience you're trying to target and the kind of art that you're working with.
So would it be choosing between a higher price point and less people and a lower price point and more people potentially? Is that what the choice really is?
I don't think it's that black and white, but generally that's kind of what Super Rare is trying to position it as. They're trying to position themselves, and even Foundation too, I think, to a lesser extent, kind of as a more exclusive, higher priced kind of market. But I don't think that's like it's that cut and dry, because there definitely are higher priced, really high quality art pieces on OpenSea as well. So.
I'm gonna say this. I believe that there is a specific targeted demographic of people who go to these specific niche sites. However, are there more people able to see you and get you exposure? Would you rather have the exposure to a lot more people than just specific certain collectors, let's call them? Because you're getting a lot more visibility on an OpenSea, provided that you're sending the traffic there. So like, let's say if you had, what I see OpenSea like an Amazon, right? So if you trust Amazon and you see a vendor promote their product on there, you still have to find the product. So there's a lot more sorting and sifting, and there's a lot more things that are being visible. So the cluster and the amount of data that you have to sift through to find the projects are potentially a lot more. But it's a trusted platform. Like, I'd rather buy from Amazon than some of these third-party websites that don't have any credibility or any trust with me. So OpenSea is providing that trust, at least at some level. There are still fake projects on OpenSea though too, so you have to be careful. But if you're going to like a Nifty Gateway or Maker's Place or Zora or Foundation, I see those as like a Gucci store that has a Gucci online, and you can only buy from them because they created this specific brand and they're curating it for a specific group of people. So are the Gucci heads going to Amazon to buy Gucci bags when they'd rather go directly to the source of these other platforms that are curated just for that target demographic? That's how I would ask the question.
But Alex, just sorry for speaking of someone, but just looking at OpenSea, there's a lot of collectibles there too. So that's driving the amount of clicks and the amount of traffic. But when I look at the data, I look at Super Rare, for instance, it has just art. So you know these numbers that you say, obviously, it says a lot, but also as an artist, you have to look at the amount of trades they do and what are they selling. For me, it's very interesting to look at, for instance, Super Rare, non-origin, but what are they actually trading and what's the volume? Because on OpenSea, it can be really hard to be seen as an artist because there's so much on there, and a lot of rap, and a lot of collectibles, and then there's art. So yeah, that's driving the amount of clicks too, and that's, I think you have to mention that too. For instance, I'm not like big on Hackathon, but for the amount of people that go there, they have quite a high volume and a lot of traders. So that's how I compare.
So the question might be though, like, do people actually go to these sites and go, oh, let me look around to see what I'm gonna buy? Because that's the only way something like that factors in, when it seems that most of the artists are driving the traffic directly to their page, and discoverability is not really a big factor in this, that people are just randomly shopping around.
I think Joseph and then Platsky wanted to chime in. Now I gotta act like Natalie, February 2021.
Thank you, Natalie. Hello, everyone.
So sorry.
I don't apologize.
I'm gonna, never apologize to Natalie.
Hey, what's up, Joseph?
Hey, how's everybody doing? I think we look at this in the wrong sense. The reason why, first of all, Super Rare and Foundation now accept custom contracts. So with a custom contract, it doesn't matter if it goes to OpenSea, you own the contract, so the royalties will be paid on OpenSea. And I think Super Rare is always, well, I know recently they've offered custom contracts, which puts them in a different league than OpenSea. People keep forgetting, OpenSea is fantastic. It's the secondary market to the world. It's the eBay to the world of NFTs. Even if you're creating on OpenSea, you're only creating on their contract, right? And that's the stance that we've always taken, is that, oh well, we're writing our name to the blockchain. You're writing your name to OpenSea's blockchain, and the only thing that's distinguishing you is your account number that you minted it on, and it's not a custom contract. So if the world moves around and OpenSea doesn't come to dominant, and there's another secondary market, well, will they recognize OpenSea's contract in their royalties? You don't have to worry about that if you own your custom contract. If you own your own smart contract, you own it. So wherever you put it, is the royalties have to, transpire into that platform, because that's how platforms work. And so, like, I think, OpenSea is going to always be the biggest, just in the same sense as eBay probably is the world's largest, garage sale. Right? And you're not selling everything. Everything that sells on OpenSea isn't original. They're like Bored Apes is 20 or 30,000, different assets are being sold on OpenSea as a secondary market, right? And all these projects have 10,000, 10 times a week. There's hundreds of thousands of NFTs all being sold on OpenSea in the secondary market. But their primaries are always on their websites, and there's a reason why they do that, and there's a reason why they get the royalties, and they have their own custom smart contracts, so that when they go to OpenSea in the secondary, they all get those royalties. So, I think, every platform can work, any platform can work for any artist, because you always have to bring your own traffic, right? You don't need to bring 100,000 people to sell 4 pieces of art, right? You need to get maybe 20, 30,000 views on Twitter of that art, right, in front of the right people, and you get the 5 collectors who want to buy your pieces, and it doesn't matter where you're selling them, right? If they're good, if they're collectors and they love your work, they're going to go to the platform, Foundation, Super Rare, OpenSea, Rareable. They're going to find your work and they're going to buy it there. But as the artist side, that's where having your own custom smart contract definitely adds a lot of benefit. won't have to rely on the platform anymore. And there's 2 or 3, and there's going to be more in the next 2 months that are going to allow you to build all this stuff without charging you a dime to build your own custom smart contract. So, please keep that in mind, that that's where the real sovereignty comes. The OpenSea contract is what it is. It's not transparent. You can't see the OpenSea contract. No one can. Not to fund OpenSea at all. I think it's a fantastic platform. But, as artists develop in this space, I think they need to take that sovereignty back, because that was the point of being in this space. Just my 2 cents.
Thank you, Joseph. Before Platsky goes, there's also Manifold. So M as in mattress, A, N as in no, apologizing, Joseph. MANIFOLD.xyz. And right now you can create, I would do your due diligence. I always recommend people be super skeptical and challenge all the things. And so people want to kind of report back. They just launched this tool recently. Richard and some other guys in the space. And so it allows you to mint your own contract, kind of plug and play a little bit. You're going to have to probably have somebody audit that, which maybe a little bit of money, but yeah, just try it and see and report back to me so I could do some researching as well.
Yeah,
so,
it's still a whitelist to get on there.
Yeah.
I've signed up. And I'm glad you brought up Manifold. Manifold, like, when we talk about the great artists being on Super Rare, there are great artists on Super Rare. There are great artists on all platforms, selling for a high value. But fuck Render, Ferocious, right? Mad Dog Jones, right? All these artists that we all know of, right? And are selling 100 ETH projects. They're not selling on Super Rare. They might have some stuff on Super Rare, but they're selling on Manifold. Manifold has been the key to a lot of these big artists doing these big works that were auctioned off at Christie's. Manifold also is one of the few platforms that use Arweave instead of IPFS. Arweave is way more stable and way more decentralized, and has way more backups online than IPFS does. I know that a lot of this is like over the top, thinking for anybody who's new to the space. But Manifold they're not charging a dime. All you have to do is pay the gas. Definitely look into their site, look into what they're coming out with. It's groundbreaking, and I think it's going to change the entire space in the next 6 months. And they're not going to be the only ones offering it. I used Nifty Kit for my job because I wanted to have control of my custom smart contract, and I wanted to have a dev team that I can contact and say, hey, what's going on here, and they can fix it. That's really kind of handy. They're offering some really cool things now. But there's more platforms like that, and that's the way I think the space is going to go. OpenSea is always going to be around, but it's going to be the secondary market.
Okay, now Platsky, sorry. I'm going to apologize to you for referral. Go ahead.
That was great information, Joseph. That was really good. So the reason I was asking that question, and there's something that's baffling me. One of the artists I work with over the last 2 to 3 months has taken in about, 220 ETH on OpenSea. We did a project, they did a piece, beautiful piece, and on OpenSea they've done like hand-drawn collectibles, they do one-on-ones, they do series, so everything sells out immediately. They put a piece on Maker's Place, reserve of 3 ETH, and now their pieces will sell for up to like 7 ETH on OpenSea. This piece has been sitting on Maker's Place for weeks. No action. They've advertised it to all of their current collectors almost daily. Maker's Place has retweeted it. Maker's Place has put it on their story on Instagram. Everything under the sun's been done. Zero action. I cannot understand how, like, over 500 collectors, none of them will connect their wallet to Maker's Place to buy that piece when everything sells out on OpenSea. So that's what's made me kind of like reevaluating what could be happening. Like, why, so I was just wondering if the curated thing, if people want their pieces over to be buying on Maker's Place more than the curated sites, because I thought that could open it up to other collectors on Maker's Place, maybe ones that, hadn't seen their work, but they've also advertised it to their current ones. I don't know if anyone would have an opinion on that, like why something would be dead on that platform when they're selling like crazy on OpenSea.
I'm just gonna say this real quick. People are lazy and they just stay where they're comfortable, right? So if they're already going on OpenSea and all their projects are being released on OpenSea, they quickly and very they're not motivated. Why are they motivated to go to a place where they're not getting that anxiety and that heart racing with all these other things and all this new stuff? Like there's so much movement and action that creates the FOMO that makes people want to participate. And if there's not that, and it's just a gallery, it's like the difference between going to the Apple store and the Microsoft store. How many people you ever see in the Microsoft store?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people who own a Mac, and a lot of people own a PC, but somehow the culture and the container of the Apple Store is just a hip place to be, and they've created that vibe that makes people get vortexed into that arena. So these are things that you should be aware of as too. Like, and it's not just OpenSea, it's not just other platforms. What are these people doing to participate at that level?
Could it be the artwork? I mean, we can't deny that maybe the piece isn't speak to people. Maybe it's, I'll give you an example that I thought was really interesting. So a few weeks ago, we did the Inspiration 4 auction, right? And there was a fantastic artists in there, BT and Sabet and Naya did a piece and a bunch of really big artists in that collection. And Sabet's piece did not sell. And I was like we were sitting there in the back channels talking about it, like, why is Sabet's piece not selling? Like, Sabet is well known in our community. He's an amazing artist. The piece was beautiful, and we didn't know why it wasn't selling. Like, it's for charity. Like, it was, underpriced for some of his other big pieces that are one-of-ones, and nobody can understand why his piece didn't sell in that charity. And almost every other piece in that charity sold. And so, I don't know, sometimes, I think there's outliers in everything. I think Maker's Place is a good platform, but I think I just don't know, like, a lot of people who sell or buy on Maker's Place, I don't know.
Yeah, I have considered what you said, but I don't think it pertains to this one. It's better than his other stuff. It's the first that's animated. It was animated by a professional animator, not the artist who may be, inexperienced in animating. I'll send it to you later if you're curious. I don't want to really make it about him or, that might be weird. But, I did consider that, and it makes no sense at all. This piece is right in line with everything else. It's even better. So, it's blowing my mind that he could sell in like a little over 2 months, 200 ETH on, not including his collectibles. That's like other, like
what?
It's 200 ETH on his like one-of-ones and little editions and no action. But I think maybe it's what Alex said. It's just out of the realm, like his collectors, he's always been on OpenSea, his collectors buy there, and maybe they're like, oh, there's this piece over there, but that's not for me. Like, to me, I'd connect my wallet to any of these sites to buy from an artist. It doesn't bother me, but maybe maybe that's just something I didn't consider, that would be a big deal to someone to buy somewhere else.
So what is this artist doing on the secondary market? Because you might have an opportunity, which is called arbitrage, where you can buy it on one platform and sell it on another and make profit.
Yeah, I think he's like, we're just gonna end up like he's just gonna burn it off Maker's Place and relist it on OpenSea. Like it, like I've just been racking my brain about it, and I just wondered. I didn't know if maybe even the curated sites weren't as desirable as before because OpenSea is just so hot. You would think being on a platform where you have to get accepted, like, does give you some level of credibility. And I know there's collectors that won't shop on it, Maker's Place. There's ones that won't shop on Nifty. Like, people have their reasons, but I can't figure this one out.
So then the real question goes back to how do you build a strong community? If you can build a community of people who will not hit a button to go buy it on another platform, how strong is your community?
Exactly, that too. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Where are you streaming this?
It's on YouTube and Airtime. I'm currently having problems with my phones. I got like 5, 6 different devices in front of me, and sometimes the internet or something's going on. But yeah, it's on YouTube, and potentially the link is also in the Airtime. So if you're in the Airtime, you could jump in there and get it.
Thank you, Alex.
You're welcome. So let's keep going down our deep dives. I just went. Here's another observation that we discovered yesterday. How many people are going to see your artwork if you get on the homepage of OpenSea? How valuable is that real estate now that you know that 5.8 million people are going to that website?
Lots of people. It will have a crazy visibility.
You'll show out.
So the next question is, what is the steps to get featured on OpenSea?
You tag them on Twitter, I think is one of the first steps. They have a whole list of things that you have to do on their Discord. And I'll point out, Jeff Jag was one of the first people on the homepage, and he did not sell out. So sometimes maybe it was early and there wasn't that many big people, but also most of the people who are being highlighted on OpenSea are not small artists by any means. Most of them.
Okay,
So
are you aware of the green check mark on OpenSea?
The verified thing.
No, it's a.
Oh, that's the blue one. Never mind.
Yeah, the blue one is the verified account. Do you know what the green one's for?
the 100 ETH sales.
Nope. There's a green check mark on OpenSea on certain portfolios. Do you know why? It took me almost a week to figure this out. They are the OpenSea like community ambassadors almost. So when you find those green guys, you can find that usually they have a Discord or a Twitter associated to them, and you can triangulate them and communicate with them directly to potentially increase your awareness or access to the infrastructure, right? I know Pips is tight with the Rarible team, and if you ask them, like we're gonna do right now, Pips, how did you get connected to the Rarible people?
You funny, bro. Yeah, Discord, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, I've been telling people for the last year that Discord is one of the most powerful resources and tools in this space.
So who hangs out in Discord?
Me, I follow all of us, I think, but I discover many collections and I follow all of the possible. I already have Discord Nitro and I have almost more than 200 servers. I have to pay more to get more servers, but obviously I will not pay more. I will delete some, but Discord is the key.
But I was asking Pips. Pips, who hangs out on Discord from your point of view when you go into these channels? Who are you looking for?
I'm looking for CEOs. I'm looking for developers, creators. I'm looking for the who's who, as Lavelli calls him, Waldo. I'm looking for my Waldo. People that I want to be connected to and networking with and creating and building things with.
So let me ask you this, because I like asking these things. When you hit them up in the Discord, do you just send them a piece of your art and say, buy my shit?
No, of course not. No, I just, I engage. I introduce myself, tell them what it is that, I'm looking for. Tell them what it is that I'm seeking. And most of the time, people will reach out, and, that's when the lines of communication is open, and then, you engage and you take it from there.
So there's an actual, like, you want to develop a real relationship with these people, correct?
Absolutely.
Is this with artists or is this with collectibles?
No, this is just him communicating in Discord, right? And I just want to make this a point. Just because you found somebody who is considered a Waldo, or you found a leader in a community, and you think that they care about your project, and you're just gonna send them a link and tell them, "Yo, buy my shit," or "Take a look at my project. What do you think?" Um, Dude, I get so many messages. I got WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, Instagram, Twitter, Signal, and probably another 30 platforms. And I could tell you, I get so many messages that are formatted in a way where they're spam. Like, my brain just doesn't have any. Where's the value? Why should I care? Right? That's where I always start. Why? Who are you? Why should I care? What? Like, you don't even introduce yourself properly. You're just like, yo, look at my link, buy my shit. So
Yeah, I don't even look at messages like that. Like when you look at, like when you get DMs and stuff, right? You can see the first couple of lines in the sentence. If the first couple of lines don't say, "Hey, how are you doing?" and then introduces themselves or yourself, I don't even look at it. I delete it, and most collectors do.
I delete all everything. I receive hundreds each day. I delete all.
Pips, how many people in Discord just send you these spam projects, and you just like, it takes you 20 minutes to just.
Thousands, and I delete them all. I look at the first couple of sentences. If the first words don't say, "Hello, how are you doing?" or "Hey, how are you doing?" something generous, like no brainer shit, like the shit you was taught in grade school, how to just be a fucking nice person. I just delete that shit, bro.
All right, so I want you guys. You guys need to take some notes right now. We're sharing some key information, and it's like back to the basics, guys. If you want to build a strong community, focus on relationships. Focus on doing that one-on-one interaction and be like yourself. Don't try to just sell in the first 30 seconds of the. You don't have an elevator pitch. How responsive, Pips, are these developers and these CEOs when you reach out to them with a protocol on Discord? How many of them are getting back to you and actually opening dialogue?
Every last one of them.
How many of them have you invited onto Clubhouse and they said, "Sure, I'll come and hang out and spend some time answering some questions"?
Every last one of them.
So when you understand how to master that communication, it's going to open up the door for you guys to really do a lot of really big community building things. Like it's not rocket science, which is crazy, right? There's another thing that I've seen a lot of. They have these competitions or rewards. All right, yo, holla back, girl. All right, so the people who are doing these competitions in the Discord to put like an ETH bounty on whoever can invite the most people into that Discord, you can immediately get a bunch of people who are hungry for that ETH to invite every person on their list. But are those the qualified leads that you want looking at your project? Do you want vanity metrics? Oh, you got 20,000 people in this Discord, but you only got 3 buyers? Or do you want to go after, hey, let's identify who our audience is, where do they spend their time? So when I was doing digital marketing back in the day, I would ask these questions to the client. It's like, all right, what's the age? Where do they live? What is their like multiple different social media platforms that they would spend time on? And some of the time the answer was Pinterest. Like most people don't even know what Pinterest is because that's not in their wheelhouse or in their peripheral. But Pinterest has a specific target demographic of a certain group of people, and if you want to get in front of them, that's the form of community that will embrace certain messages. So understanding who you are talking to, and then the next one is how are you putting that communication or message together? What are you going to say to that group of people that is going to make them want to do a call to action? And then I think the last big bullet point is to not give them too many options. Reduce the amount of options, reduce the amount of challenges that they have to complete at a time, and you're going to get way more results because you focused on let's get them to kick the ball from this to there, and then once they kick the ball, they can get it closer to the goal, and it might take them 5 or 6 steps before they can kick the ball into the goal, but they would have never got to the goal if they didn't follow through with these 4 or 5 other steps. And you're going to lose people in each of those steps. And that's okay, because you don't want everybody. You can't help everybody. You have to focus on who you're there to help, or who you're there to connect with, or what your project's going to resonate with. And then those super fans are going to be your cheerleaders and your catalysts to move it into the next level and get that broader user adoption. But focus on building your foundation with the core people who you want to participate in your ecosystem first.
How long do you think it takes to establish a good sized community?
Look at what the Bored Apes did. How long did it take them? Look at the Fluff community. The Fluff community came out and everybody got excited about it. They ran into a little bit of a snag when they were doing their drop party, but it didn't affect anything. They kept moving forward. But they didn't have the roadmap completed, like it wasn't locked and ready to go. They had to do some developing. And in that period of time, from the drop to the actual development of it, a lot of people dropped off. Why? Because they want their liquidity back. They wanted to make money. They were like, I'm going to make some big money. And they didn't realize that it was a long hold. So it's about, in my mind, the Bored Ape community has loyalty because there was enough people that made a little bit of money in the beginning by selling their dog for a couple dollars, or they had a mutant serum that they made some money off of. And now that they made that little bit of money, I call it the golden egg, or the goose that lays the golden egg. If you sell your ape, you're no longer going to get those airdrops, and those airdrops have been proven to give you anywhere from $50,000 to $90,000 just for one asset that they gave you for free. Lo, how's that feel to be able to sell something you got for free and you could potentially buy a freaking car with?
Start a business with. How about that? Fuck buy a car.
All right, so this just made me laugh. I'm going to ask this question. We did a lot of metrics this morning. How many people put a fucking tattoo on their body of the Bored Ape Yacht Club?
No. Who did that?
It's gonna be a no from me, though.
No. That's a big no. I spent that money too, and that's a big ass no.
Yeah, but there's thousands of people who put a Bored Ape Yacht either image or logo on their body. That's user adoption. That's building a community of real solid super fans. When you put a fucking permanent piece of ink on your body and you're gonna rep it like that, that's next level. That's commitment.
That's yeah. You all the way in.
So what are you guys doing to make people put tattoos of your artwork on their body? And if you're not doing that, you're not doing it right.
But artists have tattoos of their work all over the place.
Can I see some of the tips tattoos? Who got NFTs.tips tattoos? Yeah, get a PTR.
Alex does, right?
Yeah, okay, you got the wrong guy.
Oh, come on.
Nah,
Come
I'm
on,
not.
your wife, you got one for your wife and you.
Nah, dude. I'm not a tattoo person. But when I had that person ask me that question, my mind immediately went to, wow, what projects do you know outside of the NFT world that people are loyal enough to put that on their body? Think about
Fans.
that. Think.
There are a lot of no limit tanks.
Dogecoin, safe moon.
Yeah.
I can tell you, Alex, that my kids told me, and this is the most beautiful compliments I've got. They told me they want to tattoo my artworks on their body. I don't want them to do that, but this
Wow.
Yeah, that's the compliment.
Yossi, I would get your tattoo. Yeah, your stuff is so good, I would definitely get it tattooed.
No, but I'm seriously like think about what we're talking about right now. How do you build an infrastructure where you're moving towards getting people to be that loyal? What does that roadmap look like? If you could figure that out, the sales that you're gonna make are like irrelevant.
You know what? Can I throw something in this conversation?
Go for it.
I think really bothers the shit out of me, but I don't know. I would ask the room, right? This is how I feel when it happens. When people jump in a room like there's a flow, there's a philosophical conversation going on, there's an economic conversation going on, and you jump in and you're like, hey, I want to tell you about my project that I need you to buy. I never bought anything from you ever ever in my entire fucking life. I don't care how dope it is. Never.
Never ever.
And I do buy a lot of projects, not just in my little sleazy wallet, but in that wallet I don't want y'all to know about. I buy NFTs because I like shit, right? I promise you, I will never buy your shit if you do that. That's just my 2 cents. I don't know how other collectors in this room feel, but I think that some of you need to hear that because it's just aggressive, shameless, and annoying as fuck.
All right, Lo, let me ask you this.
I love that word, shameless.
Lo, let me ask you this. Do you ever forget them?
Do I ever forget them?
Yeah, like.
No, I actually remember you more than I remember a dope artist who I had an insightful conversation with, and we kind of connected. But I might forget them. I won't remember. I will not forget your ass. I won't.
So it's funny.
I remember your name, your profile picture, your bio, everything. I hate this motherfucker.
Yeah, but here's the point, right? A lot of people don't remember what you did. They just remember how you made them feel. And if you make people feel in a negative way when like the vibe was high and then they just come in there and they didn't respectfully take their shoes off and they just walking around your house with mud on their shoes, like, dude, you're gonna be like, yo, are you kidding me right now? Like,
fuck this guy.
Yo, you're calling the bouncer and you're throwing him out on his head because you just like you don't respect me. Why? How can you respect me by coming in my house like that and expect me to respect you back, right? So I'm just doing a Google search right now for Bored Ape tattoo. Dude, there's a lot of people here that have a Bored Ape tattoo, and one of them has it on his neck.
Jesus Christ.
Right?
Hello, guys. I just want to say thanks for this streaming that you're doing. It's a great conversation going on. I'm laughing so much here. You have no idea. So just thanks for that and keep doing that, yeah?
Awesome, guys. If you guys want to continue to follow the club, if you guys visit NFTs.tips, it's the name of the room, and fill out the area where it says get started. There's a little button. It will give you access to the Discord. We're going to start having like way more interaction off Clubhouse. We're going to start building this community on YouTube, Twitch, because in my heart, I believe that there's billions of people in this world that need this information, that need help understanding this information. It's not easy to understand on your own. If you don't have a room that you can come and communicate and ask questions with, you're stuck with the questions that you have that you can come up with yourself and Google or YouTube. And most of the time, you guys don't know what questions to even ask to get the information that you're really looking for. So you come into these rooms, you ask those questions, and it gives you access to hundreds or 500 or 1,000 people who've been in the same place you've been, and they found the shortcuts that they can help you go through this journey, and you're not alone. So that's the benefit of a community, is that you're building real bonds and friendships. I'm going to ask Lo, since I see him here. There's somebody, I don't know if he's in here also, but you met him in Miami. You never seen him in person. You heard his voice. You turned around and you embraced his friendship. And you know,
Brendan?
yep,
Brendan?
yep. Would you ever cross paths with him in your regular day-to-day life if you didn't have this room?
Oh yeah, Lo and I, we probably never would have crossed paths in normal life, but it's all because of NFTs. It's all because of that amazing gathering in Miami, and just like, and I love you, Lo.
Yeah, I love
Fantastic.
You,
And I never would have met you. Yeah.
You forgot to mention the life-changing tacos that Lo served.
Oh yes.
Those were amazing.
You know, the funny thing about it, right, is that not only would there have been no time or place where we would have been in the same time or place besides like maybe the grocery store or some shit, right? Random, bro. But there would have been no place for us to have social interaction just because, to be fair, without Clubhouse and NFTs.tips, I'm antisocial than a motherfucker. I don't talk to nobody. I do not talk to strangers. Period. Ever. For any reason. You know what I'm saying? Tips made me more accepting of you other people, right? I'm a no new friends kind of guy. I've been running with the same dude since I was like 19, 20. I'm almost 45, right? We don't let people in. We're worse than a secret society because you can't join us.
someone from outside of the community is assaulting you, I'm going to help you because I know you're a member of my community, right? That's what community means to me, and I didn't learn that till here.
Look,
you guys.
Excuse me, can I ask you something about this, please? No.
Sure.
My question is like, because you said you start like talking to people like more. Is it easier? Was that easier for you because you don't see the other people and like?
Yeah, because you guys don't see my face when you say stupid shit, because my face says it all. That's why I can't have friends in real life. Because when you talk to me, my face is like, what the fuck? Get this nigga out of here, man. What the fuck is this? But on Clubhouse, I can just mute my mic and say that to my girl and then come back and answer her question.
Yeah, but Lo, we like it when you don't mute your mic and say it to your girl. We like it when you still say that shit out loud, dog. We still like that shit.
Sometimes that happens too. I'm sorry.
100%.
To be honest though, that's what it is, right? And also, I feel like Clubhouse cuts through the bullshit because your vocal tone, your inflection, the way you sound, I think is a better indication of who you really are. Like if I hear you talk, I feel you more than if I'm just looking at you and it's just, I don't know, I think Clubhouse is one of the greatest things ever, and it's not like they invented talking. You know what I'm saying? They didn't invent the party line. If you're old enough, you remember being on the chat line. You know what I'm saying? So
I understand the point. The reason why I ask you is that because a couple of spaces, like I was in a couple of spaces on Twitter, and there are some people that they sound really like, I don't know, lonely and everything. They go in these spaces and they speak, and it's easier for them to connect with people. And since you mentioned that, that's why I just found the step and ask you that.
Yeah, I do agree because I think that's why my YouTube show didn't work and my Clubhouse rooms last for 12 hours, right? Because I can't stare at the camera. I'm not a camera person. I don't take pictures. Like I've known celebrities since I was like 14, 15 years old. I never take pictures with people. I'm not that guy. I don't like that shit. I think that's just corny. But I'm just not a camera person. But I can talk my ass off. So if you don't got a camera in front of me, we could. You know, and that's where I'm at with it.
Cool.
Yo, does anybody know about the Kool-Aid packs? The NFT Kool-Aid packs? Is this like legit Kool-Aid or is this like a complete knockoff and Kool-Aid is just getting ripped and they're gonna get sued?
Probably not sued.
They're being offered up by OpenSea. I love just clicking around these things and looking at what people have access to.
People, that was nice. Have to close. Take care. Keep doing the good job. Yeah. Nice to meet you all. Bye.
All right, George. Keep smiling. All right. So when I was doing this little scan of mine, how many people in this room know what a POAP is?
I do. I use them all the time now.
And what?
They activated my Discord.
And what's a POAP?
You use the POAPs to get your Discord with POAPs?
Well, no. Okay, so I had done a Discord in May. Everyone said, you gotta start a Discord. I started one in May, and then I proceeded to ignore it until the Gabe Weiss interview I did about a couple weeks ago. And, and so I thought, Gabe, we were talking about doing a POAP, and I'm like, well, I'll just do the POAP, and then I'll make them go to Discord, to get it. And so, I had 6 people in my Discord on the morning of the interview, and, by the end of the day, I had 70. So, I multiplied it by tenfold. It's not like, it's still room to grow in my Discord, but it was one thing that just bam-o, and then I've done another one. So, I'm finding just as it's a good way to at least get people to your Discord. Now, I have to keep people activated in there. I'm kind of working on that still, but anyway, yeah, I love POAPs. You taught me POAPs, Alex.
So how do you think a POAP, which means proof of attendance protocol, can help you build your community to be strong?
Aren't you giving one out today, Brendan, for your interview with?
I am with Ishida, yes, and they have to go to my Discord to get it.
You're becoming like Bart Walters, and you're getting all the big guys, huh?
Well, we just talked to some guys at Super Sphere VR. They do those, like the Steve Aoki Metaverse concert, and there's a ton of them, but Steve Aoki, I think, was one of the ones that was more recent that we all heard about. And they're asking me,
if I can help them come up with a suitable blockchain for their metaverse environment, which I've come up with something they could build on top of, but they want to start using proof of attendance for the concerts so that they know people aren't just like buying and trading off. They want to actually do NFTs. And then the NFT could have like some exclusivity or time lock to it. And then when you come to the show, 4 times during the show, you get an airdrop. 25, 50, 75, and 100% through the show. You get an airdrop or some backstage information or some like behind the scenes videos or just something that goes with this so that they can start blending blockchain and these proof of attendance ideas to their metaverse concerts. You can look them up out in California, Super Spheres VR. Lucas is the guy that we talked to. And I think that's going to be a massive statement because they're fairly popular company. I mean, they're a really popular company. So if we can find a way to help them integrate blockchain into their platform, which I'm thinking Immutable X would actually be the answer, and then use proof of attendance to provide people incentives for actually participate. The NFT still has value. So your concert ticket, you could still resell it for a reason. How nuts is that? When you leave your concert, it has no, other than your memory, this is your ticket, right? But what if there was something else that after the show, that ticket had value? Well, now you could keep it or sell it.
That's awesome, dude. Can you send me those links on Instagram?
Probably not on Instagram because that's like the one platform I don't use, but I'll back channel you for sure about Immutable. I'm sure you know what Immutable X is, and if not, I'm sure you do. It just may not be ringing a bell if it's not ringing a bell right now because you've probably heard of Gods Unchained on Ethereum, right?
Yeah, of course.
They use Immutable X to stop the gas fees, and like OpenSea, which I think they're trying to figure that out as well.
Yeah, I think OpenSea is about to switch over to Immutable X. I think so.
Which is genius. And so as soon as I heard this dude's problem, I was like, hey, have you ever heard of Immutable X? He goes, no. I said, great, then I might have a job. Right? Because if he's never heard of Immutable X, then I might actually be able to help him.
So this is just another thing I want you guys to be a witness of. We don't know everything, and the community often comes up with solutions way faster than you can as an individual. And one of the things that I saw on that banner yesterday that just resonated with me to my core at that Spartans game was, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And by taking the time to build your community around what you believe in and who you see the audience of your community becoming, like we told Brendan that by having access to your top art collectors and buyers, to have access to you through a Discord has its own value just in itself. Now that people are starting to learn who Brendan is and what he shares as value, he has value. People want to subscribe to that value. They can now do that in his own Discord.
Yeah, and I'm slowly learning that process.
Send me a link to your Discord, Brendan. How am I not in your Discord, bro? What the fuck?
Okay, I believe if you go right to my link tree, it should be one of the top links. Actually, if you even go to the POAP, there's a POAP link there. It just says apps. That takes you right to my Discord. If you go to the link tree, everybody could do that actually, and there's still POAPs you can grab. You know, because you mint so many, and only some people grab them. But like Alex, this is like I'm still like learning all this, and it's like, okay, so I got the idea that a POAP can get people to your Discord, and then you guys were talking about roles earlier, and how you can activate by people, like people can get a higher role if they have a certain amount of activity, or I guess there's bots that figure all that kind of stuff out, and then you could airdrop POAPs or NFTs to people once they hit certain roles, things like that. Is that kind of what you're?
Well, I think
one scenario of activating.
So you got roles, which give people that feeling of being special. If they hold a special POAP, they get access to a certain role, or if they hold a token, it gives them access to a certain role, or if they own a Bored Ape, you can have them have a Bored Ape area, so only the Bored Ape people have a special area in your Discord.
Okay.
You know, like now you're able to give that exclusive experience, and then if you have a Bored Ape, then you can only see this Bored Ape channel that's capable of the Bored Apes communicating with you and that channel. Otherwise, I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to read this because it's only for those people who have that access.
Oh, this
And
is
it's so
cool.
dope. And it's so dope.
You just gave me a great idea. Okay, so I started my Discord in May, and I put it like Mixi, or like my artist name, and then I really like this whole the I quit my job thing that basically started in this room. You gave me the idea, Alex, to commemorate it, and it sort of turned into something like. And now I have this club, and now I'm interviewing people. It's like I could never have planned this out. And then when I realized I could activate my Discord, I realized I renamed my Discord to I Quit My Job Now What? And then my artist space is in that. So it's more about the Discord is not really about me so much as it's about the community of the inquiry into creative self-sovereignty. And I could have a Bored Ape, like people who have Bored Apes who quit their job because they had a Bored Ape. Or something like that, that's kind of interesting. I don't know, does that make sense?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
and let's just say that you wanted to have a special area just in your Discord for people who quit their jobs. So you don't have to run multiple Discords. You bring them all under one roof, and you just segregate your audience based on a POAP that they participated in a I quit my job like event.
Right. Cool.
Brendan, I sent you a message. I can send you a couple things that we do. I don't mind doing that. I'm pretty tight with Lo and a couple of these cats on stage. I think it's fucking awesome you quit your job. I quit mine at the beginning of last year. And yeah, I'm happy for you, dude. And I can show you how easy it is to set that shit up in Discord. We actually do similar stuff where we give like certain people with certain commitments, certain access to certain rooms so they can communicate more directly with each other.
Cool, thank you. Bitcoin is king, Chris. Thank you. I just followed you. I hadn't come across you before, so thank you. It's very generous.
So I just...
Yeah, I want to say, right, that I am making some awesome friends here, and you guys are cool as shit. And I will say, be very mindful of small things. People's character shows real quickly, right? That's why I'm friends with people who I'm friends with, because I know how to read character. Learn how to read somebody's character. When they do some fucked up shit to other people, be aware that it's only a matter of time before it happens to you too.
Can I get a Satoshi?
Satoshi. Blockchain Gospel, 12:30 every night.
And that's not jokes, dude. He's telling the truth. There's certain people we've witnessed in this space who we personally benefited them by either sharing knowledge or financially benefiting them, and the outcome was they don't understand principal knowledge, and it sucks. And it's like, wow, dude, really? But at the same time, it's like, okay, maybe they didn't know. Maybe they've never been in this environment. So we're not just crossing you off the list. We're giving you opportunities to learn from your behavior. We share openly. Sometimes it hurts because the truth hurts sometimes. But you got to learn that people are really here. They're going to build real relationships. Just because you think that this is some silly app is not the case at all, because these friendships that you make could potentially last a lifetime. Like Pips right here came to my wedding in Bulgaria, in Europe. He jumped on a plane off of one phone call. I'm like, yo, dude, you want to come to my wedding? He goes, yeah, man, let's go. And he showed up. Like, that's awesome.
That's bonding.
For sure, man. So just here's another thing. Every room that you go on Clubhouse is triangulating you to a certain belief or thought. Now, if you are smart, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you are, you're going around and you're adding certain people, you're hitting them up on the back channels, you're making conversation, and you're setting up your opportunity to meet these people at a core level. And those are the people that you're gonna have the ability to connect with. That this dude crypto is king. I don't necessarily, or Bitcoin is king. I don't recognize him by his profile picture. I don't recognize him by his tonality. But my brain immediately identified that he has a lot of value to share. I would like to connect with him. So I hit the follow button. So next time I see him and he's in the room, I'm notified that, hey, Bitcoin is king and is in the room. And I can invite him on stage because he shares value. If that makes sense.
Perfect sense. That's how this has been building, right? Been built. I was given a chance, right? Just like everybody's given a chance. They pull you up on stage, you can speak. You say something that makes sense, you might speak again. Keep making sense, you might start holding your own rooms and people might start listening to you. And then opportunities flow from that. You make space for other people, people see that, and they make space for you.
Here's an option or an observation. There's a person that used to be in this community that I was able to get on the Logan Paul stage, and I brought him up to come and answer the question because he was the most qualified person that was in my knowing that could answer the question appropriately and do it in a really good language. And what happened from that day on is they kicked me off the stage, they kept him, and the relationship between me and that kid just separated that moment. Do you think I'm ever going to participate in another conversation with that guy? Probably not.
Was that driven? Can I ask the question? Was that driven? Did he kick you off the stage, or were the other people kicked you off the stage? Is it something that was driven by him?
I don't know.
Or was that?
It doesn't matter. What matters is, here's the other thing. Just because you only see what you can see in the public, from the moderator's point of view, the people who have green beans, there's a high possibility they have a line of communication behind the main stage. For quite some time, we were using airtime like the back channel or like the backstage. So after these big long rooms, we'd come in here and we would just joke around and make stories and, you know, connect on that core level. And that was like our way of just debriefing and just like, all right, cool. We're not being pressured to answer questions and do stuff. And this was like more of a hangout place, was airtime, you know? But like, just because you see certain things happening on stage, there's a high possibility that they're communicating in the back channels and they're talking about certain people's behaviors, or like, yo, did you see what just happened? Or, hey, do you know about this guy? And you're like, yo, this guy just came on stage, be careful, he likes to talk too much. Like, there's conversations that are happening, and the relationships that are built are your tokens to get on these stages. Some people won't let you on stage. I'm one of the only crazy mental patients that you guys will ever meet that will invite thousands of people on stage and expect the conversation to run and flow.
Alex,
Yo, Jingle
just say
trying to, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Lo. Thank you. Hi, Alex, and hello to everybody else. Yeah, I've just been trying to get in, but I'm just wanting to go back to the question that you asked, Alex, is how do you build that community? You know, how do you build that big community, you know, to sustain, you know, what you're trying to do here and what everybody else is trying to do? Well, you've got the answer yourself. Everything that you're doing right there, right now, with everybody else is the answer. You know, what you're doing is, and I'm talking from experience now, because I've built a community with over 1.1 million followers. So it has been over a period of time, over 8 years, but it is what going on engagement, which is what you are doing. You're putting in all that time, and you have to put in the time, because if you don't want anything out of this, you have to put in the time, and that's what you're doing. I've seen you guys, you know, put in the amount of time that you are, and you know, and you're inviting us and you're sending the signals out and everything, that is you guys building the time, building that community. You are building it yourself. This is how you're doing it. It's the loyalty factor as well, and you're keeping loyal to the community. And also the quality of content, what you're providing is worth the listen. So we're here listening to you guys, and whilst a lot of you come onto the stage and turn around and say, well, we're talking shit and this, that and the other, but you're not really, there's a lot of information that's being given out and it's worth its while. So whoever is listening, it's worth their while as well. And what you're also doing is with regards to the artists and, the content creators and everybody else, you're giving them, their worth as well. So, what I want to say to you, Alex, is, you don't even have to ask that question anymore because you're doing it right here, right now, and that's how you build a community. That's all I need to say. Thank you very much.
So you just reminded me of a few things. The first thing was time, okay? I read a book when I was in grade school, and one of the things was you don't become a master until you put in 10,000 hours. We've put in more than 10,000 hours in less than 8 months. This was like in the 6-month period. My wife, she wasn't my wife, she was my fiance at the time. She goes, you live in this world. You've been, from the moment you wake up, and I don't sleep much, to the time I go to bed, I've been running rooms and doing stuff for this community for no pay, for no money. She goes, this is insane. If you added up the hours and you dissected it based on a regular job, 9 to 5, I worked approximately 2.5 years worth of actual life energy that went into building this community in 6 months. She goes, this isn't sustainable. I knew it wasn't sustainable from the beginning, but there's somebody else on the room. His name is Ryan. He showed me that it was possible. Not that it was a sustainable model, but it was possible. And he's the one that gave me the confidence to just say, you know what, I'm just going all in, because I failed so many other places in my life that those failures gave me the understanding of what to do and what not to do. So sometimes learning how to fail early out the gate and getting that failure off your belt gives you access to win later in life. And you get to use that what do you call it? That experience. You're not going to go anywhere in life if you don't have experience.
Start over. Say that again. They didn't hear you say it again. That is the key to success. Failure. It's so hard for people to understand that failure is how you succeed. Say it again.
So let me ask you this. How many people in this room...
Sacrifice, too, right, is what Alexander's trying to say. He's being really gentle about the way he's making this accessible for everybody. But don't forget the sacrifice and the agony. Don't forget the stress and the sickness and the moments where you think that you're making a giant mistake and that you're probably about to let yourself and maybe your family down. But there's a burning desire in your heart. There's a passion, and your mind works in a way of which you know it is an individual unit, and you just push forward despite haters, despite setbacks, despite tiredness and fear. You man the fuck up. And then all of a sudden you win, or woman the fuck up. You mount the fuck up. How about that? You mount the fuck up and you succeed. And everybody has it in their body, dude, because there are so many nerds out there. And this room, the fact that you're listening, you're not one of them. You're not one of them. So the moment you start to feel like one of them, this stranger's voice telling you that you're not them, or you wouldn't be here.
So you just reminded me of something else. Success and failure are both temporary. Okay?
Hey Alex, this is Conrad. I don't know if it was you or Brandon. Are you a Spartan from a Spartan Michigan State football?
No. We were talking about Spartan Race, the actual event where you have to go through 20 different obstacles.
Okay. I think I've been at this game here in Clubhouse for a while, and it takes a lot of energy. What I've learned is to show up. I find that it's not about the fear, it's not about the pain, it's about that idea of showing up with love. You show up every day with love. I've opened up rooms. One of them
lasted for 3.5 months. I got kicked out of it. I got up and down, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I always showed up. And that's that thought, is to show up. It's not about the pain. It's not about this or that. It's about you showing up, and you do it with love. And I appreciate that. That's what I've known. I've opened up other rooms that were running for even, started out running, putting them in. And it's about showing up. It took a lot of energy. I was wondering, what the hell am I doing? And I had a long conversation with my source, and I was crying a couple times. I said, what am I doing? I'm giving this stuff out for free, and my energy, and it's just like, wow. And I said, no, there's a bigger picture here. This is about a divine pattern, a pattern of sharing wisdom, economy, and true brotherly, sisterly love that flows through us. And the only way we can do that is to show up. And I'm so grateful that the guys here and the women here in this room are really understanding this idea of sharing that true brotherly, sisterly love, and working out those moments to share with the community and community wealth. We're building community wealth here. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
One of the other things that he said, I want to just further, is consistency. We showed up every day for almost 10 months. Every day, 12, 13, 14, 15, 22 hours, every day. And when I started this room, I knew nothing about NFTs. He-Man Shu was in the first room with this other kid named Patrick, who's like, we call him Patrick AI because he's not human. He's like half artificial intelligence, and the kid just can answer and render any answer, right? And we knew that there was something that was bubbling and that there was an opportunity to share this information with the world. And just holding the space, just opening the room, just creating titles that entice people to come in. That's the other thing, is creating room titles that's going to connect with your target audience. I use Clubhouse now instead of Google. If I need to answer something and I don't know what to Google, I just open up a room with the room title, I want wearable designers, and guess who's going to come into a room that says wearable designers?
Right.
It's not hard, guys. It's just about following through with your purpose in life. And if you can identify who you are, what your purpose is, and you can build a community and a business around that, you're never going to work a day in your life. You're going to get paid to play.
Always focus on your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? If you're not focused on the why, you're probably wasting your time.
And if your why can make you cry, you know you can win.
Facts.
Can I just add?
Bars.
Yeah.
Right.
Can I just add that with regards to the time and everything, we are in early days still, and whilst you guys might not see rewards yet, but just think about what's going to happen, even 6 months down the line from now. There's going to be a huge amount of success stories that you guys can tell us about, individuals here, right in this room, right now, will be able to talk about those success stories. Those success stories, and it's fantastic. We just all need to embrace it, and thank you guys. And I know who the ones that are always there, and helping others. So a personal thanks from me, to you guys. Definitely.
So if you've been in this community for more than a couple of weeks, or even if you've just been in here for a couple hours and we've helped you, I want to put a video together, or several videos with video testimonials. So if you're capable of either doing a video or just recording your audio, and you can share what NFTs.tips has done to help improve your life or change your life or do anything for you, send that video to me. I want to put it together and show the world what we're building here, because it's super special.
Okay, I put it on my to-do list, Alex.
Let's go!
Could I gotta do that today.
Can you repeat that? I kind of missed the last part, Alex.
Can you set up an email for us to send that to? Because you were saying that you've got so many messages and so many places that you get information from. Can you give us a specific
let me set
place
that
to
up.
send that stuff?
I'm gonna set up a Google form and it will have the ability to upload it. I forgot to do that. I got so many things on my plate, but I'm gonna do it right now because this is something else that people know about me. I don't wait. Somebody asks me to do something, I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll do it now, and I'll keep moving forward. Because what happens is if you forget to do something, or if you're hesitating or whatever, somebody else is gonna do it, and then you're not gonna get the opportunity again. So I'm always jumping on things and taking care of shit and making it happen before it becomes a problem or before it becomes anything else. I want it done now.
Is there a way to send those videos or audio to the Miro board so we don't have to do it more?
We could do that too, but not everybody has the Miro board link.
And I just want to say, for me personally, thank you for setting up these spaces because I've been doing a deep dive for the past, and it's an insanely steep learning curve, which I'm finding deeply invigorating and inspiring, and I'm really enjoying it, and I really appreciate a lot of the people and a lot of the information that I've gained from being in these rooms specifically. So I just want to say thank you very much for establishing these spaces. I don't always talk a lot in these spaces because I don't really know a lot about this stuff, and I'm learning about this stuff. If you go into a photography room, you'll find that I'll talk quite a lot because it's an area that I know something about. But I really appreciate this space. I'm really appreciating the learning curve. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Alex, I just want to say thank you, bro, like always, man. For the simple fact of believing in me when I had the videographer room going, and you were always there, you were always active. As things started to dissolve with the videographer conversation, I guess, let me backtrack a little bit. When you came to me and told me about NFTs and I had no idea what you were talking about, I didn't know if I was going to stick with this. Attended that first room, saw the numbers in our conversation. I was like, cool, this is dope. Still didn't know if I was going to stick with this. Over the next couple of days, seeing you start up the .tips room, seeing the number of people hopping in, you instantly giving me my roses, accepting me, encouraging me to stick with it, being vocal to the crowd that this is Ryan, he's got a learning disability, stick with him, explain it to him. If he asks you to repeat, don't get frustrated. And I really appreciate you because I didn't know what direction I was going to go in after the video conversation started to die down in that community. I didn't know what direction I wanted to go in. So being able to focus on the NFTs, being able to call you, you call me. When you call me, that means even more because I'm so used to reaching out to people and I'm the one that's reaching out. It's like a one-way street. But to actually receive phone calls from you or FaceTimes from you has meant a lot. And then just you encouraging me to stick with it. 9 months in, made it my first drop. I'd say I did relatively well. I'm still sticking with it every single day. You're constantly, what are you up to? What are you doing? What's next? People check out his work. Like, I really, really support and appreciate you, man. Same goes with Lo, BB, and a handful of other people that I really have built a connection with and a relationship with over the past 9 or 10 months. So, man, I just give you your flowers too every chance I get. Any conversation that I'm in is about NFTs these days. It went from video conversation to clubhouse conversation to now NFTs run my life. So, man, I just really, really, really appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you too, and I saw that message this morning. He made a little post on Instagram.
I had to get that off my chest before I went to bed last night. I'm definitely going to be doing a testimonial for you. I'll probably drop a couple of them, or at least long enough to where you can cut it up into little segments. But yeah, man, if nobody else has said it, man, I say it. I love you. I appreciate you, and you definitely have helped change my life. And with the NFTs, like, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And the fact that we are here so early on, we're all going to grow and get larger and larger and larger. So the seed's been planted. The plants are developing. So just know that. But yeah, man, everything I said in that post, man, I meant. And to call you a friend would be disrespectful. You're my brother, bro. We're family. It's way deeper than friendship. All family, no friends.
in my book.
Facts.
That's funny because the people who really do know me from like back in the day, they actually started hearing about NFTs. I didn't go to Miami. However, they went and somehow crossed paths. And one of them was up in a DJ booth, and the DJ guy was like, "Dude, you know Alexander?" Because my face, I guess, was on his phone, and he's like, "Yeah, that's my brother." He goes, "It's funny. This guy doesn't have any friends. He just has brothers, you know." So that's awesome, dude. And you got a brother here too. So if you ever need anything, you know, I got you.
That's already shown. I already know that. I know if I needed something at 2 in the morning, even if you're on an opposite coast, you're going to find a way to make it happen, Captain.
That's it.
Hey, guys, there's a sister in the audience that's been at this NFT thing for a very short while, and she's doing some great things. And her name is Alpha B, and she's doing VMV music, volumetric vibes music, and she's also doing a project for the betterment of humanity. And I was wondering if you could just hear from her a little bit what kind of projects, and maybe you can get her some support. Her name is Alpha B. She has a charity called the 100 Hearts. It's in Germany, and if she could just have her explain a little bit about it. Alex, is that all right?
Is she on stage?
Yes, she is on.
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Go ahead.
I want just a little bit introduce you to this beautiful project. This is called 100 Hearts, and this is a charity, and we are going to expand this charity from Germany, where I founded it, against depression and for mental health. And therefore, we have combined this with the modern technique of NFTs. So with beautiful coffee mugs, what are designed from an artist, and the people who are involved in our project decorate them, make them more beautiful, and then we mint them at the blockchain, at the OpenSea platform, and we are going to expand this. Now, after 2 weeks, we have already 250 artists who want to participate. We opened already around about 60 coffee mugs. We minted already there, and I would love if you could help me a little bit to expand this project. Just maybe somebody wants to participate of the artists. That would be fantastic. It's very simple. Please send me an email. I would send you back 5 of these coffee mugs, and then if you send it back to me by email, I would mint them, and of course there's also a little win for the artist who does it. But this is not the point I want to say. It's just about the fun, the art. I never thought that this could be so much fun. It was for me, and I hope for all of you could be as well. And to help somebody for the betterment of humanity, Project Hope, help one person every day. This is what I wanted to say, and thank you for listening and that I could introduce it.
Yes, ma'am. Where are we going with the next, Alex? What's going on? What's the conversation about today, bud?
I'm putting the form for the testimonials in my Twitter bio, so you guys can easily just click a link.
Sweet.
So this is for testimonials. Hold on, let me just write this out. Test. And I'll put a little arrow so you guys can know what's the link. So it's in my bio now. It's a Google form. You can upload it or send a link. And I just want to collect somebody's stories so we can share with the rest of the world what a real community looks like, how to model one, what the effects of a community are in a group, you know. So if we helped you in any way and you want to share your story, I'd love to hear it. So that link's in my bio on Twitter.
Hey Alex.
What's going on?
I want to thank you for creating community. Because of you, I got to sit next to Swan Sit in a clubhouse meeting in the metaverse, so I really appreciate you giving me that opportunity. That's how you build community.
Okay, so I don't know who that is, so tell us more about that. I'm just
she's the queen.
You go ahead.
Reputation yet. She's the queen of Clubhouse. I know it's virtual, didn't happen in real life, but through the algorithm, I got to sit next to her, so you get a little bit extra pub that day because more people are going to notice that you're in the audience, and that's what community is all about. It's not just about speaking; it's about who do you sit next to, what room are you on. Even if you never said a word, people are paying attention. Did you write 10 notes? Did you write one note? There's small little things you can do to create community and give people voice and power. And this app, this Clubhouse, has the ability to do that if you think, outside the box.
Let me add something to what he just said, right? Because it wasn't just Swan Sit that was in that audience down there with you. There was maybe 5 or 6 people in the audience that had millions of followers on Clubhouse. Okay, millions. That's another thing that I do when I'm on Clubhouse, right? Is I troll people's bios. I learn about them. I go to your Twitter. I go to your Instagram. I go through your posts. I see who you present yourself as, and then I wait to hear you talk and see if the two match.
Big facts.
How many peoples did it match?
Quite a few.
More than due. Much more than due.
So what happens when you find one that doesn't match?
When it doesn't match, it's usually scammers trying to sell fake information that they're regurgitating. You know what I mean? People trying to present themselves as experts and authorities and then charge you for that information.
So Lo, let me ask you this. How many people in this space are really, truly experts?
There are some experts, right? And those people I've found are very free with that information. And then there's a lot of experts, right? But they're not very vocal.
And I would say the experts don't come on every single day and spend every single minute either.
Yeah, they're actually in the field, so they're actually doing shit. I think Clubhouse for them is a break. You know what I'm saying? The break from what they're doing, and they come dip down and try to find other people who are doing similar, and they share ideas, as you should, right? As any creative or professional, you should be, engaging with your contemporaries and your associates. But there's another.
To say true professionals, I'd say maybe about 10% of the community are like at that level to really honestly call themselves an expert in this field. A lot of us
most of them won't even call themselves experts, right? The people who are, I think, the people who are really experts are really humble about it and be like, well, I've been in the field for a while.
And how many of those experts need a translator because they don't speak English, like American regular slang English?
I think that's where the space I've been feeling is because I speak, for lack of a better word, I speak duh. You know what I'm saying? I speak real basic at times.
He's like, Ryan, we're going to use that learning disability to our advantage. You're going to be able to explain this to certain people in the simplest terms. You're still going to be spot on, but we're going to use terms that just everyday people are going to understand and relate to. Because a lot of this stuff, especially for yourself and others, it's in one ear and out the other and over your head. But if we can break it down into simpler terms, we're going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to speak on that. So Tom, sometimes when I explain mergers to everyday people, I don't say the companies are merging, I say they're collabing. And when you say it like that, different people understand what you're referring to. But if I'm obviously in a high-level business meeting, I'm going to talk about potential merger. But I think it's important that we communicate all ways to all people because you never know where this brilliance that's going to help you on your own journey is going to come along the way.
I think there was a young woman that had something. Go ahead, Nigel, and then we'll do. I think there was a young woman. I think that was Nigel.
It's just like super late here. Can I just ask a question and then I would like to go to bed?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then go to bed. Bed.
I'm not sure if you've touched base earlier with my question from the first room. It's in regards to why can't we do the shilling marketing and long-term marketing hand in hand together so that we can get best of both worlds in a way. Yes, there's much more work, but wouldn't that be ideal as well?
So let me just share this with you. If you fill your Discord up with a bunch of people who are just going to spam it and do that, you're going to spend a lot more time pruning it. And I just brought Gary Henderson on stage. He's an awesome guy who understands this better than probably anybody I've ever met. And he uses his rally token, the Gary token, to gatekeep people into certain containers. So he's not getting overworked with pruning his audience because you have to actually be invested to even communicate with him.
So basically, he used Collabland, I assume, at the verification stage for people to be able to see all of his channels.
I don't know, Gary. How did you do it? Was it with Collabland or was it an internal rally thing?
I use an internal rally thing, and anyone can with Rally. Rally's Discord bot is public, so you can, just like with Collabland, you can gate any Discord based on any token or any coin at Rally. If you read about the violation of PvP contests, now I know everyone does it, and I know it's a great way to grow a Discord, but it's also a violation of your terms of service. I don't that violates my terms of service because I'm not here for a quick cash grab. I'm here to make money, but I'm here to do it for years and years and years to come. So I would rather make it a little slower, grow a little slower, but grow with the right people. So I've had a lot of success. We're not a huge Discord. We're about 2,200 people, but we don't do invite contests. We don't do anything like that. The mass majority of the server's gated, but it's a very engaged community.
How do you grow exactly right now? Like, what's your plan?
It's all networking. It's networking in the community. So it's our community going out, meeting people, networking with people, bringing people back in. We do giveaways in the community. We create content inside the community. There's exclusive opportunities there. So there's a lot of utility being in Discord. When you think about a community, you've got to come up with a reason why people want to be involved in it. My community is a group of creators that want to make money. So I help creators make money. I'm in there helping them every single day, serving them. So if you have